What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today I have some exciting news. I've picked up a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to now shoot on. So this has a DJI mic as well as the camera itself, and I'm excited to see what the improvement on videos looks like. Although the iPhone was good, this is much nicer. It's on a gimbal and it face tracks and all of the good stuff. So in today's video, I have a couple things that we're going to tackle on the bug. First of which is the hood, and the previous owner told me, hey, it's a little kinked. I think somebody tried to shut it when the hood was propped open, but we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into that because I want you guys to take a look at this. So the gap here is nasty, and that gap runs all the way down to the front, and on this side, much of the same. Fits poorly up here. Huge gap right there, which sucks really bad when I'm driving in the cold because it lets so much cold air in there. For any of you guys that mess with these early Beetles, you know how hard it is to actually find a good early hood. With this being an oval, I need a 4-tab hood, but those are basically impossible to find. So I hit up the local Volkswagen guru, and he let me snag a early 60s hood from him. And this sucker is clean. It's original paint. And the inside is super clean, guys. I will obviously have to repaint it, and there's just a tiny kink on the edge, which is right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Just a tiny little kink right here. When you look at this hood, you can see a little kink here, and I was kind of confused as to how that would upset the fitment so badly. But when I was talking to the guy who I got the hood from, he told me to check this. He told me to check the structure right here, and he said this is what determines if the hood will fit well or not. On both sides, you can see that side does not sit perfectly flush to the hood. And on this side, this gap is huge, and that is not good. That is what causes the issue. So on the new hood, those pieces are primo. They are exactly to the hood, and they're in super good shape. So I'm going to see if that hood fits as good as I hope it does, and we're gonna get this hood pulled off, install that one. I know it's the wrong color, but we're gonna get it installed and see if that fixes the fitment issue so I can drop this thing off at paint. So guys, we're going to dive in here. It's super quick, super easy. All we have to do is 4 bolts and the whole thing comes off. I'm gonna see if I can do it by myself and hopefully not scratch the car. So after pulling off just 1 bolt, I knew that's not gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this trash can here to help it hold. We're gonna try to pull these off and see if this works. Well, that was a bummer. I just got the hood off by myself and it didn't damage the car. But when I set the camera back down on the base, it stopped the video and I didn't know that. But with the hood already off, unfortunately, I'm not going to risk putting it back on, scratching the car by myself. So we're just gonna leave it at that. I got the hood off by myself with the help of the trash can. And now we've got the hood over here. So we have both of them side by side. And although this one is shinier, shiny is important, right? You can see the inside of this thing is just worked. It is tired in there, so it definitely has been through the ringer. And as you can see, that support is smoked, and this one is not perfect either. So when you compare that to this hood, that's tight, and that is super tight. So I'm hopeful with the tight fitment on that one that this hood is gonna fit super well. I'm gonna test the hardware, make sure it works in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw the new one on. I've checked the hardware does work in the hood. I've got some rags down to try to prevent some scratches. I'm gonna try to one-man this thing again with my boy at the trash can to help hold. Okay, it's looking pretty decent. See if we can get this hardware thrown in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Sucker lined right up. Let's go. Probably get some new hardware for this because this stuff's not in the best of shape here. So the threads on the bolt that came out of that top one on the far side are a little sus. I'm gonna try to find a better bolt so I don't tear apart a brand new hood. I'm gonna see if this side threads a little bit better. I have all of the hardware started, but not tightened. I was able to find a bolt for the other side, so that is secured properly now and not destroying the threads on the way in. So let's pull the trash can and see how it fits. Granted, it might need some final adjustment forward and back, which is fine, but we're looking for the curve. We need the curve of the hood to match the curve of the car. A little bit of adjustment on that far side. Let's try again. Kind of scary because I can't be back there and watch it. Let's go ahead and move that hardware up just like I did on that side. See what it looks like. Okay, it's shut. And it's not latched. I don't have the latch installed yet, so this corner is way out. So I definitely need to adjust that hood hinge, but that could just be the angle, which I think it is. This one's not fitting too bad. As you guys can see, the gap is much, much better. That is super exciting. It's actually going to be pushing on the weather stripping, which is what I need. Yep, sure enough. It's gonna do what I need. So right here, there is that kink. So the body shop will hammer and dolly that down to get that to fit a little smoother there. Overall, that's a win. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the final fitment on this, swap the handle over, and just get gassed up on this. That is super huge because it is so hard to find a clean hood for these cars. And I found one and it was a good deal. And I just need to perfect fitment, get it painted, and this thing is ready. Here is the final fitment product that I got. So the gap here looks really good, but I do have a couple issues. So this gap is far cleaner than it was before, but this corner does not fit very well. I don't know if it's because this front quarter was body worked when it was painted, however long ago that was. I don't know, but they may be able to dial that fitment in that corner, which would be fantastic. So this fits good all the way down and around, and over on this side, we do have a gap, and as you can see, that pinch is causing an issue. So I'm gonna see what the body shop thinks. I'm gonna see if they think that they can hammer and dolly that out, which I feel like they could. And if they can, overall, this thing is gonna fit pretty good. It's not perfect. I don't know if maybe this car was in a front end collision or something years and years ago, so the bodywork, maybe it doesn't fit perfectly. I'm not looking for perfect, I'm just looking for pretty good. Overall though, the hood fitment, I can't complain. It is pretty good. I think once that pinch on the passenger side is hammered down, it will be a lot better. So that's gonna do it for the hood portion of today. The next is wheel balancing. Now, this car shakes pretty bad at about 65 miles an hour, so I wanna go ahead and get that fixed. I pulled the wheels off last week, only to find out that because this car is a wide 5 bolt pattern, modern wheel balancers will not work with it. So I borrowed a wheel balancing adapter from my buddy for wide 5s, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the wheels off, take them down to the shop, and we're gonna get them balanced. Whoopsie. All right guys, so I have the adapter for balancing the wheels. The problem is with wide 5 wheels, standard cones are far too big. So when you take this adapter, it allows a standard cone to work to go on the wheel balancer. So I'm gonna get this attached, which you use the wheel bolts for, and then we'll go ahead and get it thrown on here. So just like that, with the adapter, we are good to go. Gonna get these old weights pulled and spin it. Second one turned out good. The first one, I'm pretty sure the wheel is pretty bent. It looks bad, and that's probably where a lot of my wobble is coming from. So I'm gonna have to make sure I put that one in the rear of the car and good ones like this in the front of the car. And it should keep the wobble down to a minimum until I get the new wheels. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's calling for a lot of weight. But I just checked to make sure it was mounted straight, but watch this thing. It's not good. So 2 of them are like that and 2 of them are good. So I've done my best to make sure that it is on straight, and it appears to be on straight. Everything back here sits flush, which is the important part. But that is concerning with how bent that is. Yikes. No wonder this thing shakes so much on the highway. Well, unfortunately guys, 2 of the wheels are super bent. One of them just won't balance, period, which explains why it has such a bad wobble. I'm gonna throw both of those in the back of the car, and I'm just gonna hope that that solves it for long enough until the new wheels come in. But 2 of them did balance super nicely, so those should make the steering wheel not shake, and we'll just see what happens with the back of the car. It's a new day, and I finally have some time to put the wheels back on the Bug. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these on, and we're gonna go take it for a test drive and see if those rears are still shaking like crazy or if it's good enough for the meantime. All right, we'll see what she does here. Gonna get it up to highway speeds and see if it shakes like crazy. So 65 was where the bad wobble was, and we're approaching it here. Man, it's smooth now. That's what I like to see, boys and girls. This sucker runs smooth now. We're doing 75 or 60, 65, 70 right now, and the steering wheel is dead smooth. That's what I like to see. I'm stoked on that. I was real worried about the bent wheels in the back that were going to cause a lot of issues, but I was proven wrong, and it's running good. Hell yes. Overall, it was a win. The wheel doesn't shake like it used to, and with the new hood, like I told you guys, it was real drafty in there because the hood did not seal. Well, this one, even though it's not perfect, is far better, to the point I can feel the difference inside. With the heater channels only halfway open and the hood shut, it feels warmer than both heater channels open all the way with the old hood. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Next up, we're going to take the Bug to the body shop and get that hood painted for the fresh new look.